Welcome to Healthy Lifestyle with Lori Anne. I am Coach Lori Anne, America's #1 take action success coach and strategist, empowering, educating, inspiring, and igniting people to take action with jet propulsion. We assist people to find and embrace their life purpose, live their highest vision, and become the best version of you yet, and forge a strong foundation to soar to success. We are so excited to be here today on Healthy Lifestyle with Lori Anne. We always try to light you up with a little bit of caffeine, with the possibilities that lie ahead, and today is no different. On our show today, we have Nicolette Nierras. She has always believed in the notion of trying things and failing forward. Oh, I'm a believer of that too. So having adopted this mindset, she studied accounting and certified herself as a chartered accountant. And off she went into the corporate world and dipped her toes into at least 6 different industries for the past 15 years. She used to be an overachiever. She will always be an overachiever, P.S. But life has definitely humbled her in so many ways. Having understood that not everything will go according to her as she would like it to go, the realization focused her on to look within and find the true purpose in her life. Yes, 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 you are speaking my language, my girl. And as we speak, she is leaving the corporate world behind. That is courage. I love it. And is about to enter an uncharted territory, or at least her uncharted territory, that has everything to do with the human mind, psychology, therapy, and hypnosis. And what an exciting time for her. Welcome to the show, Nicolette. Oh my God, my girl, you are awesome.
Wow. Thank you for the introduction. I am truly humbled and honored to be here. Hoo, hoo, hoo.
It is our honor to have you on our show, just to really expose our listeners to the yumminess I found when I ran into you and was working with you, and just having these beautiful conversations. And there was that connection long distance. Now, where are you located right now?
I am now in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So that's about then 8,000, a little bit, the 8,000 miles away from you.
Like that, just neighbors.
Yeah. But thanks to technology. Woo, woo.
Yes, it's almost like being a neighbor, and one day we will be in the same room, I guarantee you. So here's the
Yes.
question I start with, my girl, is what was it like growing up as a Nicolette?
Ooh, growing up as Nicolette. Okay. Well, as you mentioned in the introduction, dad has always been the. So I grew up in a middle upper class family in East Malaysia. So I'm now in Peninsula, so that's hometown. And that has always been, Nicolette, education is key. Knowledge is power. Now I cannot give you everything, obviously, but I can give you this. I can send you to school. I can send you to the door, but it's up to you to take the next step.
Yes.
And he did that. And from 7 years old, that's kindergarten age here in Malaysia, all the way to 17, he has always been, okay, study, study, study. And I understood that. But on the other side of it, flip side of the coin, I thought to myself, is this all I'm going to be, I'll amount to? Am I tying my self-worth to accolades or achievements? So at first I thought that, okay, it's going to be, let me see, let me figure out. And therefore, that's why I forced myself. I wanted to be an adult so badly and as fast as I can. So at 19, I entered the workforce.
Oh my goodness.
And
Yes, yes, I get that. Me too. Me too. But for those listening, don't rush adulthood. Adulting isn't what it's always struck up to be.
I know. And then right now, okay, I'm turning 34. So a bit about, more than a decade in the corporate world. I don't really think that that's kind of my cup of tea anymore, and that's why I'm venturing into something new.
No, and
So,
I love that you're venturing into something new, but I also love what Dad did. Dad gave you a strong foundation of a good work ethic. Without a good work ethic, what you're about to do would not be possible because you
Mhm.
wouldn't have the energy, you wouldn't have the tools in your toolbox right now to be able to take those next steps. So, although it wasn't necessarily the direction you wanted to end up in, it was such a good journey for you to take, don't you think? Because even my past, good, bad, ugly, it all
Yes.
serves for me right now, right here, right now, when we're talking.
And hadn't he taught me to go through that route, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be able to starting my own podcast, and well,
Yes.
right now, my first interview.
Oh, I'm your first interview. I love that.
Yeah.
Right here. This is right here on Healthy Lifestyle with Lori Anne, a first interview for Nicolette. One day we'll look back at this while she's just soaring to success and being this major, major form in our industry. We're going to look back at this and go, remember when? And, I'm going to say I discovered you. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. And P.S. For those listening, this is from New York.
That's right. Coming from New York. That's right. You're going to come out here into New York and we're going to do something together. But with that said, yeah, that's the journey that happens. And that's the beautiful thing about our lives is that we do have challenges, but within those challenges, we have opportunities.
Mhm.
The most significant challenges give us the opportunity for the most significant pivots, most significant opportunities to become the next best version of ourselves. I always speak in best version of ourselves, but I really mean the next best version because there's always other versions like Lorianne 2.0, Lorianne 8.0, Lorianne, I don't running out of numbers, I think. But always trying to strive for that next best version. And that's where I feel like you're in that yummy spot where you're going, all right, I'm going to take that leap, be courageous. And I have such, pride for you that you're doing this. And I'm so humbled that you're doing this. And I just look at you saying, how courageous are you to take that next step and follow those dreams? Follow what really lights you up right here because our success codes are right here in our chests. We are born with those success codes, and you've known all along that this is where you were going to be. You just didn't cognitively know that, you intuitively know that. Big difference, right?
You, yes, definitely, definitely. And my dad has told me that nak, we call it nak. Anak means daughter in Asian language, Malay, to for clarity. So he was like, "Are you gonna be? You're like you're jumping in different industries and you're not settled. Why? Jack of all trades, master of none." I'm like, I know that, but I know this. I'm gonna do something with this. And truly enough, I mean, true enough, it's equipped me for
Yeah.
that exposure. Yeah.
People who are jack of all trades and masters of none are these. Remember these little super balls? They bounce all over the place. They look like a hot mess. They just go
Mm.
boom, boom all over the room, and you're like, what the heck? And you're trying to track it down. Yeah, we're super balls. But if I
Mm.
take this same ball and we're in the same room, not 8,000 something miles away from each other, and I threw it directly at you, would it get to you?
Mhm. Of
Yeah,
course.
absolutely, because I've harnessed the energy that the Super
Mhm.
Bowl has. And that's what you're
Yeah.
doing right now. You may have been jumping from industry to industry to industry, getting experience in all these industry, trying to take little bites and trying to figure out, what makes you happy? Where is that nice nestle? And that's how we get to where we are now because we keep moving forward. So that Super Bowl energy allows us to try all those things. But doesn't it make you sometimes feel like I'm a failure? I'm not
Yes.
accomplishing it. I'm never going to have that 25-year-old's watch. You know what I decided? I don't want the watch. I'll buy my own watch. Thank you very much. But I'm going to do what I love, serve the people. And that's what you're going for, right?
Yes,
When you were a little girl,
absolutely.
what did you envision yourself being when you were a little girl?
Oh my God, I am embarrassed to say this. I envisioned 7 years old, astronaut,
Yeah.
and then, and then 12 years old, I switched it to being a cardiologist or a pilot.
Okay.
And then cardiologist is like, okay, specializing would take about 10 years, and pilot would take a huge amount of money. So it's either I go through the route of scholarship, or I choose something different and something quote unquote safe, because
Yeah, so
everybody needs.
that's dad talking. I had dad and mom in my head too. You have to make sure you have a business degree because I have a business degree. You need to be able to go, have a secure job because you know what I wanted to be when I was 7?
Well,
Broadway singer.
no, but I bet you can sing. Can you?
I can. Well, thank you for saying so. Yes, yes, whoop whoop. And I love it. It's my happy place. That is absolutely my happy place. But being a singer was what I wanted to do on Broadway at 7, and I got that chatter in my head from the parents, making sure my foundation was strong by saying,
Mhm.
you could do whatever you want, but go get an education first so that you have that
Yes.
in your tool belt. But you said you wanted to be an astronaut, you wanted to fly jets, right? You have that. You were going to fly high just a different way.
Oh, wow. Laurie, yeah. Actually, you
Right?
brought everything back. That's full circle for me. Mm, mm,
Yeah.
mm.
Yeah, so it doesn't look exactly what you thought it would look like, but it still looks that way. So
Mhm.
that's something about having a dream and holding on really, really tight. I'm clasping my hands together really tight. There's no air or space, right? You can't
That's
get
right.
anything in here. But if you have a dream and then you set it free and you open up your hands wide, anything is possible. So the dream remains. It just looks maybe different than what you had envisioned at the beginning, at the
Yeah.
end. So that's
Yes.
exactly it. So when you said you wanted to be an astronaut, you wanted to be a pilot, and even it was a cardiologist, someone dealing with the heart. Well, what you're going into, you're dealing with the heart, my girl. You're dealing with the
Wow.
heart and working with people and having them be the best version of themselves. It's just a different way.
Oh, I have so much appreciation of what I'm about to go into right now. And now you just brought so much clarity. That's exactly it's all I've been building this all my life towards this moment. And then you you brought that clarity. Thank you so much. I'm
So
gonna sit down
tying
and
that,
ponder.
there you go, tying that all together. So talk about your journey from making this decision and how, what was it? Because other people are sitting there wanting to do something. And here's the difference. You're part of the 8% of people who take action. 92% of us never take action. Only 8% of us do. And you're taking action. You're taking that leap, that courage, that strength, and you're investing and trusting that universe, God, source, however you refer to your higher power, is there and they have your back. He's got your back. So we know that when we take these steps, we need to trust it because we are not given these gifts and these tools and these abilities. We are not given these dreams if we're not given the ability and tools to pursue them. It's just a matter of taking the step. So you're taking the step. Help our listeners understand, like, what was your process? I mean, what did you have fear? Some people look at me and think I had no fear. Huh?
Uh,
How about you?
every single day. Imposter syndrome.
Ah,
We're in a love-hate relationship. Why? It's because imposter syndrome, if you see it first one way, imposter syndrome is the one, it's like your sounding board. It's saying it's giving that reality hit to you. It's saying that, Nicolette, are you up for this? Are you truly equipped for this? What are you gonna go into? Yeah, I have that debate with it. But then on the other side, imposter syndrome is like, you're gonna be, you know what? Because I was an overachiever, I'd like to term it like overachieving, but align with my values.
yeah. Well, there's overachieving for other people, and then there's overachieving for yourself. And overachieving is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Overachieving is just, you're really just very, very hyper, super hyper focused, right? But
Mm-hmm.
imposter syndrome is more about the who do you think you are? You have
Mm-hmm.
this little voice in your
Mm-hmm.
head saying, "Who do you think you are?" And you're like, "Oh no, I really don't know." And
I don't.
I'll tell you how to put imposter syndrome to bay. Name
Okay.
her, give her a name. And when you feel imposter syndrome come in, you put baby in the corner. You go, no, not today. You're going over here. So Lorraine is my imposter syndrome. And Lorraine gets put in the corner a lot because when she shows up, I'm like, no, no, I have no time for you. Go over there. And because she has a name and because we've given it kind of an entity, it is now within your control to leave her there and have a conversation with her in your head, or to put baby in the corner. But if you've ever heard that expression in a movie, don't put baby in the corner, right? We put her in the corner and say, not now. I don't have time for you. I need to be the best version of myself, not necessarily just for me, but for the people I'm supposed to serve. So
Mhm.
try that out when you're starting to doubt your ability. Like, why am I? Like, who's going to listen to me, right? Who am I? Who do I think I am? All those things
Yes.
we tell ourselves. We need to speak nicer to ourselves, don't you think?
Yeah, of course. I wouldn't say that. Or my friend right now, if she's gonna listen to this, Celestine, you are not good enough to do this. You're not good enough to get that senior manager position in a hotel that you've been eyeing on
No.
for a few years. She would. I mean, she loves me, but she would have a different kind of mindset. Or Nicolette is not nice. Should I be friends with her?
Yes.
Still,
Yes.
no. Yeah.
So why would we say that to
Really.
ourselves? We would never say that to a child. We would never say that to our higher power. Why in the
Exactly.
world would we say it to ourselves? So it's just us doubting ourselves, right? It's having
Mm-hmm.
that vulnerability and learning to find. A friend just recently said to me, "We need to find the comfy point of vulnerability. When you're comfortable in vulnerability, then you're really being truly who you are." And that's what we need to be. We need to be uniquely ourselves and sit in that vulnerability and say, it's okay. It's okay people see my flaws. It's okay that they don't see me as perfect because that's what I used to be striving for, to be perfect. I don't want to be perfect. It's first of all, it's unattainable. Second of all, it's unreasonable. It's an expectation that is just unreasonable on myself. And third of all, that's not me. I'm not perfect. I'm human. So I make mistakes, lots of them, lots of them. I hope to learn from the mistakes. It's when we don't learn from our mistakes and we keep repeating them, and they will keep coming back until we learn our lesson. It's
Mm-hmm.
when we don't learn from them, then we're not being smart. And that's a whole different conversation. But
Yeah.
we're there to learn. We don't come out of the box knowing how to ride a bicycle, right? Get on the bike. Hopefully mom or dad is there holding the bike and going, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. And we fall and we skin our knee
Yes.
and we cry
Yes.
and then we get back on the bike and we try it again and we fall. It's similar to babies. I think we've had this conversation before. So a baby is sitting there and deciding that they want to walk. So they start pulling themselves up and they get up, they take two steps and fall. They don't fall and go, oh my God, Johnny saw me. I'm never going to walk again. Right? They get up
Exactly.
again and they just do it again because at
Mm-hmm.
that point, it doesn't matter because they haven't been influenced by society to care what other people think. I will say what was life changing for me, and I learned it we'll say at an older age, a more mature age. I learned that it's none of my business what anybody else thinks.
Mm, mm,
What
mm.
a
Powerful.
beautiful, powerful
Yes.
thing, right? Right? So for you going through this, how does it feel like going through making the decision? Like what triggered and said, you know what? No more, I'm doing this. What?
O- Okay. Wow. So this let's date back to 2019. So for the listeners, so I overachiever, right? 20 to 30. It's me saying to myself, okay, you're gonna achieve so much and you're gonna get your life sorted by 30. Hmm. And boy, I was wrong. So 20 to 30, I had a goal in mind, which is my so embarrassed to say this right now. I wanted a car, some fancy car, and then I wanted a house. I got it by 18, but not on my own. So I had to co-sign with my dad. So that was 18, and then I got my car, and then I got my job. I got my quote unquote savings that I wanted to that had an amount in mind. And then so I said, okay, I had all of this on track. And what about love? Love. So fine. Met someone. Was in two long relationships. So four, and then hang two. So 24. I was 26. I met my ex-husband and then went into it, got into it, and thought to myself, I thought this was gonna be okay. My life is settled. And no, so something happened.
And we're going to take a short break right there. Oh my gosh. Dun, dun, dun. We should have theme song right now. You're listening to Healthy Lifestyle with Lori Anne on JVC Broadcasting and iHeartRadio. We're going to take a short break and come back, and Nicolette is going to tell us what happened with her husband. And notice she said ex-husband, husband. So we're going to come back. She's going to continue the story about how she set all these goals, she achieved all these goals, and what happened next. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Healthy Lifestyle with Lori Anne. I am Coach Lori Anne, America's #1 take action success coach and strategist. If you would like to be a guest or lift up your business, product, non-for-profit, or if you have a question or a comment, we would love to hear from you. We answer every email. Please email us at healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com. That's healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. We are also on all social platforms, so please reach out and come join us and follow us and listen to these yummy conversations that we have. Maybe you'll learn something. So welcome back. Again, today we have been talking to Nicolette Nierras. Nicolette, you were in the middle of a story. We have left everybody on a cliffhanger. You were just talking about your husband. You were able to facilitate a car. You had a job. You got a house. You had savings, and now you were looking for that love. You had a couple of relationships. And where did we leave off? Go.
Husband, I love that term. I'm going to use that term right now whenever I make reference about
Isn't that nice?
Person.
Ex-husband was.
Yes. And then now that I'm into psychology, right? This Marissa Peer under Marissa Peer's program, she's like, never ever say yours, quote unquote, my, because something that is you do not want to be associated with. So husband was good. So okay, coming back to the story, husband. 2 years after, things did not work out because I wanted to settle down, but he didn't, in the sense that I was eccentric for him. So coming into union with me was like opening doors for him. So just 2 years after, I told him, and this is not working out. And of course, there's something else happened in the relationship, and I decided to, okay, stop. So that was 2019, end of September. Now, COVID hit in 2020, March 2020. So I threw myself into work. I joined quite a prestigious accounting firm. And I said, love is not working out for me, but all the other aspects is good. So this is where I should be. So off I went, 2020. And then again, all hell broke loose because it was highly toxic and everybody was trying to manage the back-to-back meetings. So, and I was forced into isolation because remember, I was from East and then now to West, Malaysia. And I was living by myself with my cat, Mario. I love you. And
hi, Mario. Shout out to Mario.
He's being boarded. So after that, I thought to myself, okay, what am I? Who am I? What is life? What is my purpose here on earth? Then I started looking within.
That was the pivotal moment for you to start tapping into your intuition and your spiritual journey?
Exactly. Yes. So 2021, this thing, because I was into Mind Valley, I was trying to figure out what self-help, what do I need out there? And I was going externally rather than going internally. And mind you, Lori, I went into divination, various divination tool, astrology, astronomy, you name
Yes,
it.
yes, yes. Me too. Did the same thing.
Yes. And it's like this one particular friend, true mutual friend, one thing he said to me, Nicolette, you need to love yourself. And I thought to myself, I am living myself. I take myself out to dates, to restaurants, to salons, to massages. That's loving myself. Hmm.
That's not what
No,
he meant.
you need to love yourself. It took me 4 years to understand that term perfectly right now.
Yeah.
And fifth year,
We love
counting.
ourselves good, bad, and ugly. We love ourselves and
Yes.
we admonish ourselves. We love ourselves and we accept who we are uniquely ourselves and just sparkle in that uniqueness. And really from that point, we can do anything.
Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm.
So
And
walk us through the
yes,
spiritual journey that you had.
yes. So that friend of mine, shout out to Najmi, you need to love yourself. So I said, okay, what is loving myself? So I went into Carl Jung, Alan Watts, anything and everything under the sun, Albert Einstein, quantum physics. What is life? What is energy? And then I started to piece two and two together. Everything is energy. If you want to change your reality, you got to change your internal state, right? And I went down the rabbit hole of all of this spirituality. Then I shifted divine, actually the divine higher power. It's an incubation period from 2021 to 2024. I got a job. So I left that toxic job. I got a new job, something new altogether. But I knew I wanted to do something else. I'm not going to stay here for long. So that same feed, I came across the same feed of becoming rapid transformational therapist. And at the time, it was about $10,000. And then I said to myself, because I was in highly toxic work environment and I was operating from fear mindset, I thought that I am not going to be able to afford it.
Scarcity.
And
Yeah.
exactly, scarcity mindset. And also, what if I get fired because I was already not happy, and then I'm going to get, cut off just like that. Never mind. It's okay. 2 years after that, again, another roller coaster with the job that I was in. One more time, I came across the same feed and I said, okay, I trust in my intuition. I trust in the signs. So I took it up. It was more expensive than before, but I
Yeah.
still I took it because there's something there. And that's when I started to understand, because it's internal, right? You're talking about your subconscious, and only then you can change your conscious state or conscious mind. Therefore, I made the switch. Now, I made the switch in February 2023 by taking up a course, but I was still, I'm somebody, accountant, you have to calculate all the risk. So I prime myself up for that year and said, okay, let me do a podcast. Since if I'm going to do a therapy, people need to be paying me for money for my service, but I don't. Imposter syndrome kicked in and said, are you worth that?
There it is.
Can people,
Yeah.
should people pay you? Why should people pay you? So I thought to myself, okay, Nicolette, that's okay. Go and practice talking to people. In June 2023, I started my first podcast episode, and that's me talking to myself. And then the rest is history. Registered on a platform, beautiful platform, and everybody was like resonating. I had 20, at least the first day of sign up, 20 matches, and I was overwhelmed. Okay, there's something here, and I named my podcast "You're Worthless." Read that again. The juxtaposition of your very soul. Why you're worthless is because that's the thing that I told myself from the very when I got divorced. I said, you're worthless. But then truly, I want you to read that again. Are you really worthless? Because the opposite of that is you are worth it. You are worthy and you are enough.
Enough,
And
you matter, all those beautiful
yes.
things. Oh my gosh, you said so many things. I was just like, yes, yes, yes. because you recognize that there was a pattern there. So look at the
Mm-hmm.
pattern. You worked for a company, it became toxic. You worked for a company, it became toxic. You weren't doing what you were intended to do. That was your inner soul saying, not what we're supposed to be doing. But as soon as you go in to do the podcast, I bet you didn't get that feeling because you were doing exactly what you're supposed to do. And that's when people say, oh, when you're happy and you're joyful in what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Yes. And does it come easily? Yes. And do you worry about money? No, because that's a scarcity mindset. And
Mm.
if we do what we're supposed to do, universe, God, source, your higher power gives you the tools that you need, gives you what you need in order for you to be successful. And it becomes, here's the big secret that everybody wants to keep away, easy. It gets
Mm.
handed to you if you listen to the whispers and the nudges. And we talk about whispers and nudges on the show. Those whispers and nudges of somebody says, oh, by the way, Nicolette, I want you to speak to so and so. They're interested in such and such. And you're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I was just thinking that I wanted to do that. Yes, it's not a coincidence. It is actually divinely guided. So when it
Mm.
comes easy and it's stepping in front of you, I have an older brother who everybody would say he could step in anything and it always worked out for him. But he always has this positive outset, and he's going to live the life he's going to live. He didn't care about what other people thought. This is what he thought. He has one life. And you would just be like, how is it so easy for him? Because he was following what he was meant to do. He was doing exactly what his inner soul was saying. And our societies, all of our societies, yours, mine, are all telling us, get validation outside. Look outside yourself. You need to reach outside. What I thought was also an important thing to point out to the listeners is, did you hear that same course, that same study came in front of you again when you were ready for it? And it was like,
Mm-hmm.
still here, still here. And at that point, you took the nudge and you went, okay, leap of faith, I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where are you? You're in there, you took the course, you're certified, you're doing your podcast, and now you have the ability and the tools in your toolbox to help other people. We talk in my industry of avatars. I'm sure you've all heard of avatars, right? We talk about that's your perfect person because, when somebody says to you, who's your market? If you say everybody, I have to slap you because but you should say it's your avatar. And I have a simpler way of talking about my avatar. It's my former self. I
Mm.
understand
Yes.
what my former self went through. Those
Mm-hmm.
are my people because I know how to take Super Balls through the course that they're going to see. I know how to identify a Super Ball. I would gather that your bounce pattern in your Super Ball is, we call it a V bounce, which means we had to start with you in the mindset. And that's where you're working right now. It's in your mindset. Once your mindset is there, then we work on the tools, the foundational tools to allow you to take those next steps. So yeah, there's 3 bounce patterns that I discovered. One is a V bounce, one is an O bounce, one is an X bounce. I gather that you're probably a V bounce. 82% of the people in our studies come out as V bounces, who have to start with the mindset because we've gone all our lives listening to what other people say, following the rules of other people's lives, and creating this mindset of lack and scarcity and being maybe in some format of stress or fear. And stress and fear, I will assert to you, is the same thing. So when
Mm-hmm.
we're in the form of stress or fear, am I going to lose my job? Will I have enough money? How am I going to do this? When we're sitting in that stress or fear, in that how of life, we don't become the person we're meant to be. When we release that and take everything out and go, okay, I'm going to go with you. I'm going to trust you, higher source, right? Higher power, source, God,
Yes.
universe. I'm going to trust that. That's when we take those next beautiful steps. Make sense?
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
That's
Perfect.
what you
1000%.
what. So if right now, what would be your advice for millennials right now? If you
Ooh,
were to give any advice, what would you tell them?
millennials.
Yeah.
Wow. Please, please, please do not be afraid to pivot. Just freaking pivot.
Yes.
Life doesn't stop at 30, 35, and do not stop acting like it. It does. I mean, unless something happens to you, like you there's an accident, or you're, touch wood, 6 feet underground, you can always uproot yourself and pivot.
Is it too late to change your career as a millennial in your 30s? Oh my gosh, you're so old. I'm being
Ah,
facetious. I'm being facetious. I have a big
yeah,
smile on
yeah,
my face.
yeah. So say somebody. So let's say I'm working towards being a coach, right? Somebody comes to me and say, Nick, is it too late? Now, I'd ask them, where are you? What have you gathered so far? And tell me, what do you want to be? What resonates with you the most? Is it drawing? Is it talking to people? Or is it, I don't know, working with animals? And what is stopping you from working that animal? With those animal? Oh, my parents said it's not gonna bring me money. It's not lucrative enough. Or what
Scarcity.
scare yeah, again,
And
scarcity.
honestly, they mean well. They're well intentioned, but it's really their fear.
Yes, exactly. It's
Good
their fear
intention.
projected onto us.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes, because we're so, again, when you're starting something new, you're starting not from scratch. You're starting from your lived experiences before, and that is your toolkit. And for you to go to the next, like you mentioned, Laurie, the next version of yourself, you're going to use that as a building block. And if you're going to make, so if you expect a different outcome, you need to do something different. If you're doing something that's the same, the universe is going to give it back to you.
Until
So
you learn the lesson, it's gonna. That's what
exactly.
it's supposed to do. I have a retreat that's coming up November of 2024, and
Mhm.
it's called Forge and Fire. And what Forge and Fire refers to is strength and character within you, right? And it's forged from everything you've already survived, learned, and experienced. We are all forged in fire. We're just at different levels. And
Mm,
and that's something that at this retreat, we're going to take you from where you are and get you to where you want to be. Not at
mm,
the retreat, but start getting you a path, giving you strategies so that you can go to the next best version of you. When you leave, you'll be the next best version of you from this Forged in Fire retreat that we have. And it's just that's what you're talking about. You're taking your former self and bringing them into the world where we are now, where we love what we do. We're excited every day. We have smiles on our faces because we get to do what we love to do, and we're pretty darn good at it, don't you think?
yes.
Pretty darn good at it. All right, we'll make you the believer in that.
Yes, yes, yes. Receive. I was just talking to a guest last night. He said, you must receive graciously.
Yes.
Open your heart.
And humbly, humbly. I mean, I am so
Yes.
humble that I get to do what I love to do and serve the people I get to serve and watch them soar to success. And I think about like, what else can they do when they have the challenges? What else can I bring to them to help them take easier steps in their journey along their way? What's your heart's greatest wish?
Wow. I asked that a lot to my guests. Now it's being asked upon me for people to live in their true power, and that means being authentic. Everybody else is taken, so you only have you. Be you, and
Yeah.
you matter. You're here. You take up matter. You, therefore, you matter. Therefore, you are worthy. Therefore, you are enough. Period.
You are enough. Yes, yes, yes. And I love that you said you are worthy, you matter. To be the best version of you,
Mm-hmm.
and work on who you are to be that best version, but you are. We're all imperfectly perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Imperfectly perfect. And when I see
Mm-hmm.
myself, and I don't know if this happens to you, tell me if this happens to you. When I see myself in that yummy space where it's my zone of genius, my little magical things that I get to do and I can do very well, I flash to my younger self because
Mm.
I've known since I was young that this is what I've meant to be and meant to do. I've known that. So I keep going back to the little girl, and that just means that I'm going back here. Does
Mm.
that happen to you?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. I sit down and I tell myself right before this interview, I'm like, Nicolette, you've achieved something. You've unlocked something within you. I'm proud of you.
Yes, I'm proud of you too. So, the people around
Thank
you are
you.
proud of you. So I always say, you need to surround yourself with one or two, and one is enough. Besties that
Mm,
will just really understand who you are and who just are your raving fan. That's all you need.
yes.
Because they're not going to yes you to death, because my bestie certainly doesn't yes me to death. She calls me out when she has to. All
Yes.
right, all right. So sometimes I'm like, I don't like this. And then I give it some time and I'm like, she's not wrong. And so,
Yes.
and so she makes me better by being there, being truthful, being gentle, but truthful.
Hmm.
She's honest, but kind. There's a way to deliver, right? But she makes me better. And you only need one person like that in your life, or two if you're lucky, three if you're lucky. Think of it as a wedding cake. We just want enough people on the top
Mm,
of the wedding cake to support us. That's it. I don't want it more
yes.
than that. Then the next layers are all the other people who are like acquaintances and friends. And then the following people are the rest of the world. So we're always going to be in that. Real quick, in our last minute, give us a takeaway. I'm a Take Action Success Coach. One takeaway that our listeners can have today, they can do right now.
Fail always and fail forward.
Yes. Yes. Because why? We learn from our failures. I love
Yes.
Nicolette, you are just a charm. How can people reach out to you?
So, hello guys. I am on most social media platforms. So I'm on LinkedIn. That's for professional setting, but right now you can reach out to me through there. I'm on Instagram. I am engineers. That's my handle. And my podcast handle is your underscore worthy underscore podcast. And I'm on TikTok at the Nick Nierras podcast. And of course, I'm on Spotify and YouTube, Your Worthy Podcast. And on Spotify, You're Worthless. Read that again. The juxtaposition of your very soul.
Yes, and all those things will be associated down here with with this episode. So please like, share, follow this beautiful woman. She's going to be huge. You are already great, but you're going to be humongous and huge, I guarantee you. In the meantime, thank you all for joining us today on Healthy Lifestyle. I hope we earned the privilege of your time. I want to thank our guest today again, Nicolette Nierras. You are amazing. I love you. Look for our show next Saturday rather, at 3 p.m. on JVC Broadcasting and iHeartRadio. We can also be found on all major platforms and would be so grateful if you please like, follow, share, and subscribe. Until next time, I am Coach Lori Anne, America's #1 Take Action Success Coach and Strategist. Let your dreams be bigger than your fears. Let your life be filled with joy. I need you to play a higher role, serve a higher purpose, show up for you, and show up big. Have a great week, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Nicolette.
Thank you, Laurie.